It's the Worst of the Riots podcast. This is the Wednesday, December 6th edition. Today, Wednesday, that means Would You Rather Wednesday. We ask the question, would you rather go back in time and change one single thing or go forward in time to know when you die?
We also talk about Christmas and a gift from your childhood that you never received.
Yeah. But fortunately, I think I was worried that could have been that could be very negative, but I think we all had a pretty good attitude about it.
Yeah.
We're not holding on to that and resenting our parents or anything.
We also talked about online trolls and how we can finally put a stop to them.
That's right. We're trying to do our part. And to go back to the Christmas gift you never got from your childhood, you know what would be good is to ask your parents about that.
What we asked for, and they were like, that's stupid.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a reason you never got that because it was a dumb thing to ask
That's
for.
a good question.
That would be
I
a
should
good
ask my
segment.
parents that.
Yeah.
So my parents own the toy store, so I probably asked for everything, and they were like, because they know they were selling toys.
Yeah.
And now that I work at the toy store all the time, and I help out there, and I sell things all the time that I'm like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Why would you buy that for your kid? Are you crazy?
Every
I
year.
would never buy that for my child.
Furbies. Why do people want Furbies?
And I'm sure there's a million things that I watch around the toy store. Because when I was a kid, I lived at the toy store.
Mm-hmm.
I watched around. I was like, I want this. I want that.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, I sell these dumb things to people every day.
Mhm.
And I think they're silly.
You never
Why
use
would
it.
I buy this for you?
Yeah, mess up the house or something. Why would you want the slime? I asked after we did the segment on the show, I asked my wife what her answer was. She said, you'll never believe this. The clapper.
The clapper.
Yeah, you know, where and the lights come on.
Oh, okay.
That's what she wanted. She never got it.
Yeah.
I've heard her talk about that before now that she mentions it.
Why don't you get it for her?
She got one eventually.
Oh, do you have one in your house?
No, because surprisingly, especially nowadays, not as cool as she thought when she was a kid. So,
Makes sense.
yeah. Good show today. Enjoy, and we'll catch you next time.
See you guys.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
And something that in that episode you'll hear us chat about a lot is how much we miss when you're like your gaming heyday, when you're just playing all night, you and your buddies up playing whatever your game of choice is, from any COD, from any Fortnite. It obviously changes from time to time. But then I started thinking about this, Isaiah. I've got some different other big moments of life that you may have gone through.
Okay.
And I want to see if you could go back in time to relive a moment. Would you rather pick this moment or a night of video games with your friends? So
I love it.
Here's one option. The day you got your driver's license.
That was a cool day. It was also my birthday.
No way.
I got it on my 16th birthday. I was ready to roll.
Was that like the first day you were eligible?
Yes.
Nice.
I passed. First try. Not bragging. I would go back to the video games over first day of driving.
Yeah. For me, I was thinking, I don't even remember the day I got my driver's license. I know I got it.
You were one of those that was a little later. You were like 24 or so.
Yeah. I did fail my driver's test the first time.
Surprise, surprise.
And you know how it's the point system?
Yeah.
And I got 0 points for the entire test. My mom was watching with another mom whose kid had just failed or something. And that mom said that I had done one of the most perfect parallel parking jobs she's ever seen. A lot of good that did me because I don't think I've ever parallel parked since then. But at the very end of the test, I did not come to a full stop at the last stop sign, and that's an automatic fail.
What were you thinking?
I thought it was over, I guess. I don't know. I thought I came to a stop. Yeah, I guess I was just hot dogging is what
You
it
were
really
hot
was.
dog.
That's right.
You knew that you had made it through the whole test, no
Uh-huh.
points, and you were ready to roll.
Yeah.
You thought you had it in the bag.
So I definitely take video games over. To say I remember that failing better than I remember passing.
The first day of driving, yeah, versus a night with your boys staying up all night and playing video games. I'm taking that.
Yeah. What about prom?
Prom's a big one. Prom was fun. I think that prom's such a special day.
Yeah.
At least it was for me. I would probably still pick the video games,
Yeah,
though.
right. I would take
I
the
would
video
take the
games
video
every
games.
time. It's not even close.
I had
It's not
fun
even
at
close.
prom,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't have that much fun. I would take the video games. A night playing video games with my friends when I was like 17 years old, I'm taking that.
I've got one more.
Because I think that's what we did at the end of the night, too.
Probably, yeah. But what's funny is both of these are like singular moments, and then the video games is something you did over and over and over, and it's still you take the video game.
Yeah.
What about when you got the job at Radio U?
I'm for sure picking video games. Are you crazy? I mean, yeah, I was excited.
It's tough to think of things, especially like from that time of your life.
What was more important to me when I was 16 years old? There's not a lot of things that was better.
Yeah. Check out the Worst of the Riot podcast. The Worst of the Riot extra today will be about video games, so watch for that popping up in your feed.
Add a little Riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
First, let's take a moment to try to get inside the mind of a troll. Look inside my eyes, see what's going on in there. Got a new study here from Cornell University that found that despite what many may think, the thing that fuels online trolls the most is simply likes. They just want the thumbs up and the hearts, and that's what gets them going, which contradicts a possibly popular belief that trolls are really motivated by the intent to cause harm. But when you're thinking about somebody trolling you, making hateful comments, think about how they're not actually trying to hurt you. They're just trying to feel better about themselves.
They're trying to validate themselves by putting someone else down. It's what bullies do.
Yeah.
And it's not cool. It's not cool.
Yeah. It is interesting because the way they put it forward, it's just the idea that, like, how they figured this out was if you're a troll and you made a trolly comment and it got a bunch of likes, the more likes it got, the more likely you were to post more hateful, trolly comments in the future. And so, in other words, I can picture a story now. I can make up a story in my mind of like some guy and he's just been posting stuff. He's just been tweeting for years. Been tweeting nice, but pretty like generic stuff.
Oh, you? Is that you're talking about yourself?
He's just
here?
He's not getting anywhere.
This you?
All he wants is for likes. All he wants is for some attention, some approval, and he's been keeping to himself, keeping it clean and tidy and nice, and it's never amounted to anything. Just a couple followers, a couple likes here and there. But then once he sees something online that makes him mad, he responds with a hateful trolly comment. And what happens? Likes abound. And an online troll is born because now he's found his niche. He's found his way to get the approval that he desires. And this is the story of so many online trolls, apparently, according to Cornell University.
I can't stand them. The toxic tweeters, the commenters. Just move along with your day. Nobody wants your hateful comment. Nobody wants to read that. So I just don't understand the hateful comments.
I get it because I think if you go online, especially if you're just tweeting into the abyss, like just starting a thought from zero, just sending your thought out there, not responding to something, it's easier to get to get people on your side if you're being negative. People have negative views, it feels.
Well, I think there's a difference between being negative or disagreeing with someone and being toxic. Being like an actual troll. Like I have had times where I've commented on a post that I disagreed with, but I didn't do it in a toxic way.
No, you can debate with people.
Yeah, you can argue without being ridiculous.
Without being rude.
And usually these people are being ridiculous.
Yeah. But I guess it's fueled by the people that like it. So now I think it's all on us because nobody here is going to sit here and admit, yeah, I'm a troll. I don't know if any troll has that kind of self-awareness, to be honest. But can we each sit and think about what we're liking before we like it? Think, does this person need to post more things like this? It's on us, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, just don't like the ridiculous comments.
Yeah.
If it's a hateful comment, this isn't even a troll job. There's a difference between a troll and being toxic.
Yeah.
A troll is like in good fun. Like you're just trolling. That has always seemed like a good fun thing to me. Where if you're being toxic and hateful, that's not being a troll.
No.
That's called being a jerk.
Yep.
And I don't support that.
No, we're not going to like that.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
Now, I have a question here. The Riot hotline is in effect.
877-2-RADIO-U.
JR and Lex were talking about this last night. What is a Christmas gift from your childhood that was on your list that you never got? And you still remember it to this day. 8772-RADIO-U. The Christmas gift you missed out on.
There's so many good answers here.
Yeah. For me, I'm trying to think. I think most of mine come from when I was older. I guess I was more possibly materialistic then.
Well, maybe that's what you remember better.
Yeah. I know I remember some good gifts that I did get, but I can think of more gifts from when I was, like a teenager that I was really hoping for. Seeing your friends getting stuff and you're like, oh, I hope I get this. But from when I was like a child, like thinking, like this happens in the movie The Santa Claus, right? There's whatever the board game is that the mom always wanted. The weenie whistle from when Neil was 4 or whatever. I don't have something from when I was a little child. Maybe my parents know what mine was that I would have got upset about, but mine are more from later years.
Yeah, you think about too, like the good thing was usually your parents always knew best. So even if you asked for something that you shouldn't get, like I always wanted a blue dog. Apparently those aren't real. So my parents couldn't get it for me.
Yeah.
But a lot of times if you got something as well, you could return it. And so you don't want to ask for something that's non-returnable. I knew that when I was like a baby, I wanted a little brother. Got it. Wanted to return it.
Yeah.
Couldn't.
Didn't work out.
Stuck with him.
Yeah.
A lot of people texting it. I like this one. A live reindeer. Thankfully, my parents knew better.
Yeah, reindeer. I bet you I already see some horses coming in.
How about this one?
The pony.
A ride inside a garbage truck. Thank God my parents are sane.
Like inside.
A ride inside a garbage truck.
That sounds fun, though.
It could be the back or it could be the passenger seat. I don't know. Either way, that's an odd one. Must have had maybe a toy garbage truck.
If I was the parents, I think I would do that for the child. Because
Put him in the garbage
that's got to
truck?
be cheaper if it's like, this is your gift. It's your gift. We paid nothing for this.
You mind taking him around the block?
We just asked Jimbo to let you hop in the car for a few minutes. Hop in the cab. Yeah, I think that the parents missed out there. 8772-RADIO-U. Text in, what is a Christmas gift from your childhood that was on your list that you never got? And maybe you're a little still bitter about it. See what people are saying next.
The stories you love with the opinions you hate. The Riot Radio U.
Question is, what is a Christmas gift that you wanted when you were a kid that you never actually wound up getting? Texts are rolling in. Philip texted in. Philip says, Connects roller coaster. Remember Connects?
Oh, I remember Connects.
So like, I don't know if they were superior or just felt more advanced Legos. I didn't have many Connects. I was much more into Legos.
We had those at my parents' toy store. And I remember thinking they were really cool.
They were cool. Yeah, because they were like, Legos you just made, but the Connects are like did stuff. So Connects were cool. But I was going to say one of mine was along those lines. I don't remember any specific Lego sets, but just like the bigger, more extravagant Lego sets that are now I understand because they were super expensive. No wonder nobody got them for me. But when I was a kid, I definitely did want them. Dee texted in. Of course, she wanted a horse, as so many have texted in. Dee said she wanted a horse. She got a cow instead. She says the explanation was all the money from the sale of the cow would go to her college, which it did.
Well, you know what? That sounds like it worked out.
Yeah, it's a happy ending.
I'll tell you right now.
Can you resell a horse?
Horses are not worth the money. I'll tell you right now.
As soon as you take them off the lot.
What's a horse good for?
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody wants a horse/pony until you realize how expensive they are and how useless they are.
Right.
Cow, much more useful.
Jay says the G.I. Joe USS flag. He says he still wants it, but now they go for a couple grand. So probably not happening. But think of where he would be now if he had gotten that. And
Jay was right.
Yeah, actually, that's
Childhood
right.
Jay was right.
Your parents and Santa failed you. Max says a BMX bike.
Everybody wanted one of those.
Yeah, of course you did. That's a good answer. Regina, this is a good answer. She wanted a Barbie house. And who hasn't been through this? I got a different dollhouse that was okay, but annoyed me because they were smaller than Barbie and looked silly.
Yeah, that's the worst.
The worst is, I got the... You
kind of
got it,
but you didn't get it.
It's not what you actually wanted.
Yeah.
Though. Yeah, I understand.
We've all been there with something. There's always something that you wanted this, and they got you this. Santa came with this, and it's not quite exactly the thing, but it's close enough, but it's not quite.
Alyssa says her little brother wanted a remote control car. Many children want a remote control car. He wanted a remote control car. Didn't get it for obvious reasons. Because what is that?
A lot of people wanted those. You know something I wanted as a child?
A lot of people wanted the remote control cars.
Everybody wanted a remote control car. I wanted one of those cars that you could actually sit in.
Oh, like the
electric ones.
The little electric Jeeps or whatever.
And you know what's wild? I don't know if I had one or not, but I know that I wanted one.
Yeah. That goes into one of my other ones. I was jealous. I grew up in the country. Did you experience this, Isaiah, where any of your cool friends had a four-wheeler?
Ooh, we had a four-wheeler.
Yeah, there was no chance I was ever getting a four-wheeler. But did I want one? I never... that doesn't really count. I never officially put that on a Christmas list because I knew that was unrealistic.
Even I knew that was crazy.
Yeah, it was a stupid
I put reindeer on it before four-wheeler.
But some of mine I remember from being a little older is I would have wanted like airsoft guns for sure. And
well, you can't be trusted with those. That was good.
It's not that I never got airsoft guns. It's just I never got them from my parents for Christmas, but it wasn't for lack of asking. There's definitely, just various video games over the years as well. Probably even along the lines of airsoft, paintball as well.
Well, yet again.
Paintball guns, paintball gear.
It's a good thing they didn't.
I found my way to getting a few of those things, but I never got it for Christmas the way I wanted.
Randall, this is a great one. I always wanted one of those scale electric racetracks. Then a few years ago, my dad bought one for himself.
Oh, no.
Like the scale electric racetracks and the train sets and all that stuff. Everybody wanted those.
What about this? Do you remember as a kid, Zip Zaps? Zip Zaps were little tiny remote control cars.
Yep. We had these at the toy store.
Super small. And I don't think I ever got any of the real Zip Zaps when I was a child, but those
were cool.
Those were pretty cool too.
Anything that was on a commercial, I wanted.
Yeah. Commercials, they did a real good job when you were a kid. Now, not as much. I don't think they work on me, but when I was a kid, they spoke to me.
Oh, back then I wanted everything.
Yep. 8772 Radio U if you've got another Christmas gift you never got when you were a kid.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
A couple more quick takes that people have never forgiven us for that are supposedly bad takes that have been sent our way. Susanna says she'll never forgive us for our mean words towards oatmeal cream pies.
Fair.
But we'll never back down.
I don't like them.
Also, Lisa says, sometime in the past, we said that sports teams shouldn't wear suits or dress up on game days, and she does not agree with that. She thinks it's a bad take.
I don't remember that one specifically, but I would say that I would argue with my previous self. Look at me, flip-floppy.
Yeah. I don't recall that either, but I don't know. Like I guess I'll stick to my guns on that one.
I won't. I'll flip-flop.
If I supposedly said that they don't need to dress up, I guess I still believe that. The truth is, at this point, I don't think I have strong feelings on the matter.
I would say they should dress up.
Lisa also says.
I agree with you, Lisa. I flip-flopped.
Lisa also said there's another take that really got under my skin. but I can't remember it now.
Well, if you do remember it, you can text us at
Yes,
any point and
please
say, I
let
hate it
us
when you guys
know.
said this.
Please let us know. 8772 Radio U. Hey, if you were looking forward to NASA getting back to the moon, you start. I don't even know what to tell you. It's not happening.
Shocker. Is anyone surprised? NASA failing us again.
I love how it's stated here. NASA's ambitious plan to put humans back on the moon in 2025.
As if we've never done it before.
Yeah.
It's only been 50 years. Awfully ambitious of them to get us back.
But they put it that way to make it seem like, well, no wonder we can't get there by 2025.
I mean, how would we get there?
We're just too ambitious.
I mean, I get that in the 60s or whatever it was, we figured it out then. Back before iPhones. But now, I mean, how can we even expect them to get us to the moon?
Too ambitious. Let's
After years of research
taper our expectations.
and the technological advances that we've made,
Yeah.
it seems as if that would be an easy thing to do by now.
It now says that the plan to put humans back on the moon in 2025 is unrealistic, according to an audit undertaken by the U.S. Government Accountability Office. Isn't that basically like, so I guess that's something to do with money more so than, like, it's just not worth the money. Now, could we agree with that, actually? With all that's going on in our world, in the United States, that maybe that our top focus shouldn't be going to the moon, that we put our resources towards better, more effective policies
Now, listen.
here on this planet.
No matter, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Partially.
But
I think no matter what, we're still giving NASA has a budget.
yeah.
And they get the same amount no matter what we decide, no matter what else is going on, no matter what we're struggling with the government and the country, no matter what, NASA still gets their cut. Which, if you're wondering, is $24 billion a year. So with this $24 billion, I want everybody to think to themselves. I want you to think in your car right now, what has NASA done this year that we've all been like, whoa, that was $24 billion worth it. Anybody got a thing? Anybody got a thought? What have we learned this year?
That we can't go
Nothing.
to the moon.
That's what we've learned.
That's
I
what we've
guess.
learned.
We spent $24 billion.
We can't make it.
And I wish I had one fun fact to share. I wish I had something to back up NASA and be like, you know what? They found this really cool planet that has water on it, and maybe we'll be able to move there one day.
Now, Jeff texted in. He's raising an eyebrow. Jeff says, funny how they haven't been able to get back to the moon. What are you saying, Jeff?
We know what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't know if I can endorse that.
I'm for controversy.
Granted, I wasn't alive. You think it'd be different? Has NASA didn't just go to the moon once. We didn't just go to the moon that one time in 1969. There's been multiple people that have been to the moon. I don't think any of them been in my lifetime, though. So, I don't know. Does that make it feel more or less
1969 is when we made it?
That's the first time.
What year is it? 2023? It's been 50 years.
Now, TJ pointed out something important.
Okay.
Isn't NASA responsible for the James Webb Telescope?
Let me look.
That's, if it's not them, I don't know who it is. And that's hurtling through space, taking some wild photos.
Yes, we'll give that to them.
And those are pretty cool.
Launch date 2021. What have we done this year? You know what? They had a good year in 2021 when they launched it. I'll give it to them.
But it's still out there.
What $24 billion?
It's still out there.
I'm saying in 2021, they had their $24 bill. They spent it on James Webb Space Telescope. We used it well. This year's almost over. What is the NASA thing of this year? Where did our $24 billion go? No one knows.
Well, they're planning for next year.
We're saving. Does it roll over?
Yeah.
Does it roll over?
The $24 billion will pay off one day.
NASA gets me fired up.
This is NASA. This is some of the most emotion I've ever seen from you.
They just make me so upset. I feel like it's just such a waste because they're never doing anything cool. They have so much potential.
It's like they're taking your money and putting it into a black hole.
They're just tossing it out there.
If they even could do that, you'd be more impressed than you are right now.
If podcast awards were ever a thing, this this show wouldn't win any. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Your Would You Rather Wednesday scenario that you'd like us to tackle on the show at 8772 Radio U. Today, Lee sent in the idea, which is, would you rather go back in time and change one thing, or go forward in time so that you would know the day that you would die? Which you can't change, but at least you'll know. 8772 Radio U. When I first saw this question, I was torn. I was like, this is a good question because I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure now. It didn't take me long to figure out the answer to this one.
Oh, you've got your answer,
I've got this one nailed down. I know which way I'm leaning.
I have figured out my answer as well. And I think this could be a very controversial question because some people have some regrets.
Yeah?
That they're going to go back and they have to change it. I mean, they have no other choice.
Mm-hmm.
They have to change this one thing because it's been bothering them for years.
Yeah. Like a lost love. You never.
What if?
Yeah, exactly.
What if I had told Susie how I felt about her?
Yeah.
You know? Where would I be now?
Or a regrettable action that you acted in the heat of the moment, perhaps, or you just, said words you wish you could take back.
Taking back something you said, maybe an offensive line to a loved one.
There's any number of reasons why you might want to go back in time and change one single thing. But going forward in time to find out when you would die, that could benefit you.
The going forward in time, very straightforward. You know what you're going for. The tough thing about going back in time is which mistake do you choose, you know? I mean, if you got one mistake that stands above the rest, I mean, you're going back to fix that one. But if you got a handful of them, which one do you change?
Yeah.
How do you choose?
8772 Radio U. Which way are you going on this Would You Rather Wednesday? Would you rather go back in time and change one single thing, or go forward in time just to find out how much time you've got left the day you'll die? 8772 Radio U. We'll see what the answers are that are coming in.
Oh, hi there.
This Worst of the Riot.
Crank that up.
Radio U.
Midst of Would You Rather Wednesday, today's question from Lee. Would you rather go back in time and change one single thing, or go forward in time just to find out the day you die so you know how much time you have left? And then, of course, after you go forward or backward, you come back to today, and then you live that out. TJ just wanted to simply know, are there consequences for the change? Because I've seen that movie before. Yeah, there's consequences, and that's the risk you take, right? In going back in time. That could talk some people out of actually going back in time, right? You think?
Yeah, if you make a switch and then all of a sudden your life is just completely different.
Yeah, you might think it will only affect one thing, and then what do they call that? The butterfly
ripple effect.
The ripple effect.
I don't know. It's something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not really too worried about that, though. I'm thinking you're just making that change, then you know how things are going to go.
Regina says, I'd rather go back in time simply because I think knowing when I would die would be too heavy and looming.
The countdown.
What do you think? Do you think it depends how close that is?
I think there's a lot of factors that go into the whole knowing when you die.
I guess think about the risk reward of knowing when you would die. Because for me, like, you think about it, I guess if you know, for me, if I go forward in time, it's like, oh, I die 45 years from now, then I'm feeling pretty good. Then that's not going to be really heavy and looming for a long time. But if I find out I die in like 3 years, like, why do I die so young?
You don't know.
Yeah. And there's nothing you can do. You cannot change. You know it, but you can't change.
Yeah.
I guess that would change how I live in these last 3 years of my life. But
I mean, it'd be good to know.
Yeah, I guess.
I think so.
To make the most of this time. Mark says, who cares what day you die? Well, I just told you why I might care. I don't want to know that. What I do want is to put all my things on Bitcoin before it blew up.
Personal gain, Mark.
Yeah, really? All the things you could change, Mark. But I actually did think that was, I actually saw that comment, a similar comment come through on our YouTube page as well, where this was posted out. And that was kind of what jump-started me. I was like, you think about all the things you go back and think would pretty simply change your life for you, even personally, in a positive way that probably wouldn't have a big ripple effect. and versus knowing what day you would die, I think the risk reward in going back in time is better. I'm definitely on side going back in time, and I don't know what I would change, but I just know that I think the possible downsides of knowing when I would die, I think that really mess with you.
A lot of people saying back in time. Kevin has given like the best answer so far. He said, I'd go back and change my decision to start smoking. Obvious health benefits aside, over the last 20 years, I feel like I could have bought a house with what I've spent on cigarettes. Now, that's the kind of answer we're looking for.
There we go. Now, that's smart thinking. Yeah, and what would be the ripple effect of that? It couldn't be anything bad.
Oh, it's a lot of good.
Yeah. And there's got to be, like, you think of some instances of just, you go back in time and you see this person one last time because you know they're about to die type thing. Like, that would be, even that, a simple thing probably wouldn't be a ripple effect. Positive change. You get that memory, whatever, and maybe feel a little bit better about things. Like, there's so many things you could go back, even small things, and that'd be better than knowing when you die.
This is tough for me because I really want to know when I die. I'm nosy like that. I just want to know. I want to know. Because if it's in 3 years from now, I want to know how to live out my days. If it says I'm going to die when I'm 84, then all right, I can put that on the shelf. I don't have to worry about it for a while. And then when the time comes, I've got a year left, then it's just a big party every day. I could also figure out my budget. I might be able, if I'm going to die at 60, I could retire at like 40. I'm not going to retire when I'm 55. I'm going to die at 60. And so you can figure out your budget, figure out how long you can cherish me for.
Would you be parading around telling people?
I would be, yes.
When you're going to die?
Final Christmas, everybody.
Yeah,
cherish me.
Right.
Cherish me.
Susanna pointed out one positive aspect of knowing when you would die, and that is if you know you're not going to die whenever, it's between now and 20 years from now, even say, in the next 20 years, you could take so many risks. Because I guess
skydiving
the idea
on
is,
the table.
Yeah, the idea is if you know when you're going to die, all these risks you can take, you know they're not going to kill you.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. The way you would drive.
An absolute maniac on the roads.
That is, Susanna said she's not picking that, but that is a good argument for it.
I think I'd like to know the countdown. I'm a pretty positive person, so I don't think it would upset me too much.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd be able to live it up. If you like that video, there's a ton more. Go check out our past videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.